Is this thing on? It is. All right, welcome back to the Bandwagon Sports Show. I'm your host, DaRock, and we are back with another NFL picks video. It's already week 9, so I went 9-6 last week. Not a great week. I mean, we'll take it above 500. More wins and losses. That's, I guess all you can ask for. The week before, though, I was 10-4. I was really happy about that. So I was really hoping to have another really good week just because it has really helped boost my record these past couple weeks, having these good weeks. We're back, another picks video, and we're going to try something new today. I want to do this. I'm going to let you guys in because I want to get more YouTube comments on here. And, I've had some people tweet this on Twitter. So I want you guys, before we get into the video, down below, comment your picks for all the games in my thumbnail. The Thursday night game, the Bears-Commanders America's Game of the Week, the Sunday night game, and the Monday night game. If you get all 4 of those picks correct, either here, reply on YouTube or reply in my tweet or commenting on Instagram of me promoting the video, I will shout you out in the next video. And if we get multiple people participating, like a good amount of participants, and like multiple people that go 4 for 4, I'll pick one random person. I'll Venmo them a couple bucks, pay for a beer, something like that. I think that's a good deal. Let me know what y'all think. Maybe we can try to revise this going forward. So let's get into this video. Make sure to like the video if you love NFL picks. Subscribe to the channel. We're doing these at least every other week. I'm sorry I keep missing weeks. I've been a little busy here with work. But come November, that won't be an issue anymore. So let's get into it. All right, so we start off here with the Thursday night football game. The Minnesota Vikings are heading to SoFi Stadium to take on the Los Angeles Rams. Minnesota is currently a 2.5-point favorite in this game with the over-under set at 48. So the Vikings sadly suffered their first loss of the season last week. Well, maybe not sadly if you're a fan of another NFC North team, but they gave a really valiant effort against the Vikings, against the Lions, only losing by 2 points. 31-29 was the final score in that one. Detroit won. But Detroit's my favorite to win the NFC right now. So the fact that Minnesota played them that well, that bodes pretty well for me. I think that's I'm still pretty high on the Vikings. They were a team early in the year I was picking against and I was getting burned. So I really do not want to do that anymore. On the other hand, the Rams did pick up a win, but it was against the Raiders. Raiders are one of the worst teams in the league, sadly, for my dad. He's a big Raiders fan. And just anyone else who's a Raiders fan. And I probably partially jinxed him because that Carolina game, I was like, I don't know how Carolina loses this game, or how Carolina wins this game. The Raiders are too good. Carolina's so bad. Well, turns out I was wrong. Carolina is a lot closer to the Raiders than I thought they were. I personally think Minnesota is the better team. For me, I feel like it's a pretty easy pick. The only really way I could see Minnesota losing this game is if it's just kind of like they somehow let that loss of last week get to them and then having to go on the road on a short week. But I just really don't see that happening. So I'm going to go with the Vikings to win this one. I'm going final score of 35-21. Then moving on, next game, starting here on Sunday, we have the 5-2 Baltimore Ravens head to Cleveland, take on the 1-6 Cleveland Browns. Baltimore is an 8.5-point favorite with the over-under set at 44.5. So the Browns have lost their quarterback, Deshaun Watson, for the season, and depending on your viewpoint, that might be a good thing. Not a great guy, Deshaun Watson, and Browns fans were booing him when he got injured, and honestly, usually I'm very against, booing injured guys. I don't think that's cool. I don't think that's, the way to go about it, but not a good guy, so I really don't blame him. Baltimore, they've won 5 straight games. They started 0-2. Everyone thought, oh my gosh, the sky is falling. The sky is falling. The Ravens, they're just not good. Well, that's clearly not the case. Offense is clicking. Lamar is looking like he could win another MVP. They but put up a lot of points against Tampa Bay. Won the game pretty handily. Cleveland, on the other hand, I did pick them last week against Cincinnati because, one, I'm tired of picking Cincinnati and getting burned by them. And Cincinnati hadn't won before last week in Cleveland since, I want to say, 2018 or 2019. It had been a while. So I thought all right, Cleveland at least always beats the Bengals at home. They didn't do that. There's literally no reason for me to be confident in the Browns, so I'm going with the Ravens to take this one, and I'm going final score 31-14. I don't even think it's close. Then we have another game that's looking like it's probably going to be a blowout. The 1-5 Tennessee Titans head to Detroit, who is 5-1. Detroit is 11-point favorites in this game. Biggest favorite of the week. It's close. There's a couple ones close, so we might have some blowouts this week. The over-under set at 45. So like I mentioned, Detroit, they just retook control of the NFC North, beating Minnesota on the road. Really good win. They ran up the score on Dallas 2 weeks ago. So Detroit is playing some really good football right now. Tennessee, on the other hand, really bad football. Got blown out by Buffalo last weekend. They're just not a good football team. Detroit is a good football team. So honestly, this is a pretty simple pick for me. I'm going with the Lions to win this one. I'm going to go 35-14 as my pick. Then we move on to more AFC South teams. The Indianapolis Colts, 4-3, head to the Houston Texans, who are 5-2. Houston's currently a 5-point favorite in this game, with the over/under set at 46. So Houston suffered their second loss of the year last week. Went on the road to Green Bay, and Green Bay kicked the game-winning field goal as time expired to win the game. The Colts, they beat the Dolphins, but Dolphins no Tua, pretty short-handed, not a good team. I think Houston gets back on their winning ways. I think they're a lot better team than the Colts. I think C.J. Stroud, bounces back. Didn't have a great game last week. I think he bounces back. The Colts, they win. When they win, it's all like pretty low-scoring games. I don't think they're going to be able to hold the Texans, their offense. I think they're just too prolific for the Colts. So I'm going to go with the Texans to win this one, and I'm going to go final score of 28-21. Then those aforementioned Packers, they now head on the road, 5-2 on the year, heading to the 2-5 Jacksonville Jaguars. Green Bay's currently a 4-point favorite with the total set at 49. So this is kind of odd to me. Jacksonville played in London the last 2 weeks and is not on bye. Like they're coming home. Nobody's on bye this week, which just doesn't make sense to me. So good win. They finally got back in the win column. I was a week early on the London adjustment being their advantage. I definitely was the case against the Patriots, where the Patriots just didn't have it for a whole 4 quarters. But I'm not talking about the Patriots yet. I'm talking about the Jaguars. They looked good. Their offense looked good. 32 points. That's, I believe, the most they've scored in a game this year to date. Tank Bigsby, really good game for him, 2 touchdowns. But Green Bay, man, they're looking like a wagon. This NFC North is going to just be so competitive, dude. Like the Vikings and Lions both 5-1. The Packers are now 5-2. Jordan Love is, really putting himself up there as one of the top quarterbacks in this league, if he already isn't. Some people maybe aren't as high on him as others, but I definitely think he's very, very quickly earning the reputation of being a top 10 quarterback in this league. And I think to do that, though, you have to win games like this. You can't have stinkers. You can't have a letdown spot on the road, and I don't think the Packers do that. I'm going with Green Bay to win this game, and I'm going to go final score 31-21. Then we have the Arizona Cardinals, 3-4, heading to the 2-4 Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are that's out of order, 3.5-point favorite in this game with the over/under set at 45.5. So the Dolphins are getting Tua back, which is good. He's coming back from his concussion. Isn't going to wear a Guardian cap, which is a little concerning. I don't really understand that. I would think if you're a guy like Tua, multiple head injuries, you're going to want to do anything you can. But the Dolphins are just like horrible. So hopefully Tua coming back can really unlock guys like Tyreek Hill and stuff like that again, just because it's been a big struggle for their offense. Arizona, they had a really nice win at home Monday night against the Chargers. Came from behind, had a nice drive there to win the game, end the game on a field goal at the buzzer. And this is just one of those where I think Tua could have some rust. Like I said, the Dolphins just have not looked great the past couple weeks, and just kind of looking for an underdog spot this week. This is one I kind of like. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals to actually go on the road and take this one. May work against me just because it is a West Coast team playing a noon game. That doesn't always go great, but for now, I'm going to go with the Cardinals. I got the Cardinals taking this one 21-14. Then an AFC East rivalry, the 2-5 New York Jets head to the 1-6 Patriots. The Jets are 7-point favorites with a total set at 41. So the Jets, they get Davante Adams. Aaron Rodgers gets his guy. And I'd say the most notable thing he did on Sunday night was make a tackle to prevent a pick six from happening. The Jets are just an absolute mess right now. Things are not going well. But luckily, the Patriots are maybe not a bigger mess, but they're even worse than the Jets. Gerard Mayo did call his team soft this past week, which Bill Belichick had some things to say about. Former Patriots coach who won 6 Super Bowls there in New England said, he likes citing that they're the number one rush defense last year, and it's a lot of the same guys. So I think Belichick, is kind of trying to take a shot at Mayo there. The Jets, man, they have to win this one. Like it's just starting to get ridiculous. There's no more like spots where they can just lose, and it's similar to like the spot that Cincinnati's kind of in that I mentioned a couple weeks ago. Like if the Jets are going to go on a run, which when you trade for Davante Adams, when they've like made the moves they have to try to be a contender, I think eventually like it has to get clicking, or at least has to get clicking against teams like the Patriots. So I'm gonna go with the Jets to win this one. I'm gonna go final score of 23-16. Then we have a rematch of the thrilling Thursday night football game from a couple weeks ago. The 4-3 Atlanta Falcons head to the 4-3 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Atlanta is a 2.5-point favorite in this game with the over/under set at 46. And I'd say Atlanta's favored because the Buccaneers managed to lose their top 2 wideouts. Both Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are going to be out for this game. So that very significantly impacts the Buccaneers, who in that game, they had a very prolific offense. It was a 36-30 Falcons win. So I just think because of that, we're probably not going to see the high scoring that we saw a couple weeks ago. But also just Atlanta's so inconsistent. I thought for sure they would win against Seattle last week, and then they just dropped a stinker. So after dropping a stinker, now you got to go on the road again? Like that just doesn't have me super confident in Atlanta. If those 2 guys were not injured for the Bucs, this would be no doubt about it. I'm taking Tampa Bay. Like they should have very easily could have won that game in Atlanta 3 weeks ago, and now they're coming home. So for me, this is a little tough. I did sway back and forth. Originally, I was on Atlanta, but then, like I said, I'm trying to look for some underdog spots. This is an underdog. I like, being at home. So I'm going to go the Bucs to win this one. I'm going to go Tampa Bay wins 24-21. Then the final noon game, we have the 4-2 Philadelphia Eagles heading to the 3-4 Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are 2-point favorites currently, with the over/under set at 48. So like I mentioned, Bengals go on the road. They beat the Browns, the Browns are really bad, but a win is a win. The Eagles take care of the Giants. Saquon's return to MetLife. Once again, beating a bad team, but a win is a win. 28-3 looked really good. I mentioned it kind of earlier when I was talking about the Jets. There's not many letdown spots left for Cincinnati. Like if they're going to make the playoffs, especially how competitive that division is, the Ravens once again looking like a juggernaut in the AFC. The Steelers are currently up there. We'll see how far they go. At least they have the Browns. Browns are dog shit. Browns aren't doing anything. But I'm just kind of tired of getting burned by Cincinnati is why I'm picking against them. I think the Eagles offense, while granted it was against the Giants, did look really good last week. And Cincinnati's defense has been better the past couple weeks, but they've also just been playing bad teams. So I don't really know if they have what it takes to stop a guy like Saquon, stop A.J. Brown. Maybe Devonta Smith finally gets unlocked. I think the Eagles just kind of have too many weapons where I'm going to go with them to win this game. And I'm going to go final score of 24-17. Now moving on to the afternoon slate. This is kind of a gross game. We have the 2-5 New Orleans Saints heading to the 3-3 Los Angeles Chargers. So the Saints, they started 2-0. Everyone was really high on them, thinking, oh, this could be like the new team. Like, watch out for them. Saints have now lost 5 straight games. I don't think they're that juggernaut. They looked really bad last week. 33-10 loss at home on Thursday Night Football to Denver. So Derek Carr is questionable this game, so we'll see if it's Carr or Rattler. That, I guess, does make a pretty big difference. The Chargers, they looked like they had that game won against Arizona, and they just kind of, like, dropped it. So I don't really know what's going on with them. But hopefully they can get it turned back around. I just think they're a better team than New Orleans. So I don't know. Like, they can't have 2 straight stinker games. And especially this one being at home. I think stuff like that happens. This Charger team, they're going to be good in the future. I don't think they're ready to take that next step yet. Games like last week are a reason why, but I think they bounce back this week. I'm going to go with the Chargers to win this one. I don't know if I ever said the lines. The Chargers are 7-point favorites. Over/under set at 40.5. So I'm going to go Chargers to win 20-14. Then moving on, we have the 5-2 Buffalo Bills heading to the 4-3 Seattle Seahawks. So Buffalo, granted, Tennessee very bad, but they beat up on Tennessee last week. Big win, 34-10. And then Seattle also, good win. Went on the road, handled Atlanta, winning 34-14, I believe, for them as well. So both teams putting up some big points last week. And I kind of see this one being another kind of shootout between these two teams. Yeah, 34-14, the Seahawks won. Where I could see Josh Allen slinging it. Geno's been able to find his guys like DK and Tyler Lockett. Now the Bills have Amari Cooper. That was a really good ad for them. This can be a high scoring one. Buffalo's 3-point favorite. Total set at 46.5. I honestly I feel like that's kind of a low total. I could see these two teams slinging it around. And maybe this is one where you could, like I said, look for an underdog. This might be more of a value underdog play where Seattle, they've surprised me in a couple spots, but they've also looked bad. So I just really don't know what you're getting with them. But I feel like the Bills are occasionally due for just a bad game, but I think they are the better team. So I don't think this week is going to be that letdown game for Buffalo. So I'm going to take the Bills to win. I'm going to go by a final score of 27-14. And the game of the week, America's game of the week for the afternoon slate, 4:25, the 4-2 Chicago Bears head to the 5-2 Washington Commanders. The Bears are currently 2.5-point favorites in this one. The over/under set at 43.5. So Jaden Daniels did suffer an injury against the Ravens in last week's game. Or no, I'm sorry, not the Ravens, the Panthers. 2 weeks ago was the Ravens and they lost. So that's honestly a pretty big deal, and that would stink because that's why this is America's game of the week. Number 1 pick versus number 2 pick, Caleb Williams versus Jaden Daniels. The Bears have looked really good. They were on bye last week, but in London looked really good. Week before against Carolina looked really good. Granted, is this just the Bears beating up on bad teams? Maybe so. I guess for me, this one, it really just comes down to does Jaden Daniels play? And I just think with the magnitude of this game, he's going to find a way to play. Commanders are undefeated at home so far this year. Bears haven't lost on the road, or haven't won on the road. Has Jaden been playing better than Caleb to start for sure? Now I'd say it's more of a question and go either way. This is just kind of another one. I'm looking for an underdog. And home underdogs are who I like to target. So I'm actually going to go the Commanders to win this one. If Jaden doesn't play, that might change my pick. I'd say I'm picking the Bears, but I have to lock it in as of right now. I'm going to say Jaden plays. So I'm going to go with Commanders to win this one. I'm going to go 24-21. Then we now get into these two games with just massive spreads. Denver is a 10-point favorite with the over-under set at 41.5. against the Panthers. Carolina Panthers are 1-6. Denver Broncos are 4-3. So like I mentioned, Denver did look really good against New Orleans on Thursday Night Football. They've had extra rest here, so they should be pretty well prepared for this game. And now it sounds like Andy Dalton's doubtful as he actually got in a car accident, so prayers up for him. Hopefully he's doing okay. It sounds like he's injured his hand in the car accident, which is kind of weird, but I don't know the full details. So it sounds like probably no Andy Dalton for Carolina this week, but I don't know if it really matters. They just got pounded last week, 40-7 against Washington. I'm not even so sure that Denver is good, but I just think Carolina is really bad. So for me, when you see 10-point spreads, am I going to bet a 10-point spread? No. But there's come on. Denver's not losing this game, especially with it being at home. So give me Denver to take this one. And my final score prediction, I'm going with 21-13. I can maybe even see Denver scoring more, but I guess I'm going to be generous here because they have some games where they score a lot, other games not so much. Then this one could get ugly. We have the Kansas City Chiefs, who are 10-point favorites, 6-0, final remaining undefeated team here in the NFL, heading to the 2-5 Las Vegas Raiders. Total set at 41.5. Vegas, man, it's rock bottom. They are really bad. They lost to the Rams, just did not look great. Gardner Minshew sounds like he's me playing again at quarterback. Then you're going against the Chiefs, two-time defending Super Bowl champions, last undefeated team. And now they add DeAndre Hopkins, bro. Like this, I really think Kansas City's going to three-peat, be the first team to ever do it in NFL history. The Raiders are actually the last team to beat Kansas City when they went on the road and beat them on Christmas last year. I don't see a Christmas miracle happening again. I don't think that's happening. I'm going with Kansas City. This one, I think they do cover the spread. I'm going to go Chiefs to win 28-10. Then getting in here to the last two games. The Sunday night game, we have the 3-3 Dallas Cowboys heading to the 3-4 San Francisco 49ers. So two teams that are perennially, competing for these top spots here in the NFC. Obviously, San Francisco's had a lot more success than Dallas as of late. But both just kind of disappointing starts here to their season. As Dallas, 2 weeks ago, they got embarrassed, ran out of the building on Jerry Jones' birthday by Detroit, and then we're on bye this past week. San Francisco, they lost Kansas City, but so far everybody has. So I think this is going to be a close game, but I'm going to be honest, I just don't remember the last time Dallas went into San Francisco and beat the 49ers. I feel like a lot of these NFC teams, they just all kind of have boogeymans of each other, where San Francisco, they always beat Green Bay. They seem to always beat Dallas. Green Bay then always seems to beat Chicago. I'm really trying to think. I guess I'm thinking back in the day, the Giants always beat the 49ers, but I mean that's not the case anymore. So I feel like it's just one of those. I'm not gonna pick against San Francisco against Dallas until I see Dallas pull it off. And again, there might be some Cowboy fans that listen that can tell me I'm wrong, but I just don't remember the last time it happened. I think San Francisco wins this one. I think it's going to be close, though, because I feel like some of the ones recently have kind of gotten out of hand. I think this one's going to be close. I think Dallas keeps it close, but I'm going 49ers to win 24-20. And then the final game of Week 8, my Pittsburgh Steelers 5-2 host the 2-5 New York Giants. Steelers are 6.5-point favorites with the over-under set at 36.5. And Russell Wilson actually looked a lot better than I thought he would in his first start. Not a great first half for him, but second half did really turn up. 37 points. Steelers scored 37 points. That's crazy. I didn't think they'd get that many at all in a game this year. That's more than what the total is for this game. Do I think that they keep that up, score that many points again? No. But I do think they keep rolling. I just think the Giants aren't good. We saw it last week. Philly ran all over them, and I'm not super convinced that Philly's that good, but we shall see, I guess. So I think the Steelers keep it rolling, especially at home. Hard to go on the road, win in Heinz Field. I guess Dallas did a couple weeks ago, but for the most part, hard to win in Heinz Field. I'm going with the Steelers in this one. I'm going to final score 24-14. So that's going to wrap it up for this week's picks. Thank you guys so much for watching. So final reminder here. Pick these 4 games. You can comment either on YouTube comments, reply to my picks post on Twitter, or comment on my picks post on Instagram. Or I believe if you're a Spotify listener, I think you can reply to the show as well. And here's what I'm gonna do. Like I said, we'll say this: if we get five people across all platforms to comment their picks, whoever goes 4-0 or 4-4, as well as if you got to still be listening here, if you comment the secret word equinox, let's see who's really still listening, because Monday sports equinox. So comment your winners for the Thursday night game, America's Game of the Week, Bears Commanders, the Sunday night game, the Monday night game, and the word equinox. If we get 5 people to do that, I will Venmo one person who goes 4-0. I'll Venmo them $5. So I think that's a good reward potential for you guys. So let me know if you like that. Let me know if we should add more games, how I can tweak it, and make sure to share the show. Subscribe, comment those picks, like the video. Let's get more people out here. Let's get more people listening, more people getting picks. My videos actually have been doing really well, these NFL videos lately, so I do really appreciate everyone for supporting me, as well as if you're supporting on Spotify, make sure to rate the show 5 stars, follow the show, share it with your friends, share it with your family. Appreciate you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.